How would you define fashion as a lifestyle in today's global context?
Fashion for me and fashion for everybody. It is a word which has been used and misused, but I feel that the correct definition of fashion is it is the art of self-expression. It is how you want to present yourself, the life choices that you make. It is not confined to clothes. It is the shoes you wear, the perfume you want to put, the phone that you're using, the holidays you want to take, the type of coffee you like. I think anything and everything that touches our lives is fashion. So it's a very, very broad term. Fashion, when you talk to somebody, they say that, okay, kapda banana is fashion, and I'm a fashion designer, but no. Fashion has touched our lives. Everybody sitting in this room, in some way, is fashionable in their own way. So every segment of the society, be it a middle class or an upper middle class or the high-end society, they are fashionable in their own way. When it comes to trends, fashion trends are that they are seasonal, they are micro trends, they are macro trends. वो आते हैं, वो कुछ साल रहते हैं, कुछ हफ्ते रहते हैं, कुछ महीने रहते हैं, and then they go away. But when it comes to fashion, I think all of us, when we were coming for the event in the morning, all of us gave a thought as to what we have to wear. So everybody is touched with fashion, and which movie you're watching, kaun si holiday mein jana hai, what footwear you're wearing, which pocket square gentleman is wearing, everything and anything is fashion. Yeah.
So you can say that it is a mirror of our values, emotions and belief system?
I think so, because the whole society as a whole has changed. Because initially, before the digital thing came in, and pre-COVID era and much before that, I think fashion had a very narrow definition. But with the digitization happening and people, the inclusivity happening, earlier jab koi show hota tha, say for example there is a show happening in Milan or New York or London, we could not witness it. And when I started my journey, the only way I could upgrade myself was through magazines. We had no internet then. So हमें होता था कि if we started something in way back in 1995, 30 years back, हमें कैसे पता चलेगा what is happening in fashion, what is happening abroad in the West. But now, you open your Instagram, you open Facebook, you Google, you doodle, you search, everything is visible. So fashion has become very, very inclusive. And who are we following? Who is leading the bandwagon for fashion? We follow Bollywood, we follow Hollywood, we follow sports stars, musicians, everybody and anybody has become like a brand ambassador of fashion. So if I look up to Priyanka Chopra, what Priyanka Chopra is wearing, or what, not Ranveer Singh, I wouldn't say Ranveer Singh, maybe Ayushmann Khurrana, or for that matter, Saif Ali Khan, or Shah Rukh Khan, or anybody. So they are the brand ambassadors. Virat Kohli is wearing something, everybody wants to wear it, the way he's carrying himself. So sab ke sab fashion follow kar rahe hain, be it a corporate sector person, he's a doctor, he's an army man, everybody wants to dress up well. So, आप सब कहीं ना कहीं मेरे profession से involved. That's it.
So you say from Milan to Mumbai, we are all following one kind of thing that is fashion in a way or another.
Yes.
Right. So let's talk about your venture, INFIT. So what you think, and ma'am, these days we have very much in trend kind ecosystem, eco-friendly clothing and all that. So what you think that how are you promoting your students or designers in this scenario?
So like we were discussing before the session, so the students that come now to take these courses, I call them the Maggi noodle generation. They instantly want, they have joined the course today, the next week they will make an Instagram account as designer so and so. Chahe seekha hai, nahi seekha hai, they take themselves as designers. But I like to tell them that Rome wasn't built in a day. Aap pehle samjho, seekho, understand. Otherwise, even a master or a tailor sitting in a small shop is a designer in his own sense. But how will you make a master or a karigar do his work is agar aapko kaam aata ho. So with IIT students, I've always told them कि पहले आप किसी भी चीज की बैक स्टोरी को समझो, कपड़े की समझ, कारीगरों से कैसे काम कराना है, be it embroidery, printing, patterns, embroidery, anything and everything that is part of the fashion line, learn the basics. It is like a doctor. If he has to start from somewhere, A to Z आएगा तभी वो operation करा पाएगा. Otherwise, I will not give my life in his hands, right? So similarly for fashion, the students, anybody and everybody needs to understand कि अगर आपने कोई profession लिया है, आपको उसकी समझ है, then only you'll be able to do something. Otherwise, you'll be there, you'll arrive and disappear in no time. So that's what we tell. And coming to the sustainability, like I was telling you yesterday when we had this conversation, we have always been sustainable. Just because the West has started talking about it, so we feel that the sustainable word is the in word. But we have seen our nannies, dadis, the old generation, they used to never throw anything. If a t-shirt worn by an elder brother would be given to the younger child and then to the house help and ultimately converted into a pocha. So we have never thrown anything. Even jo purani sarees ho jati thi, I've seen my mother. She would combine two pieces and do the kantha running stitch and make it into a divan or a cushion set. Because my father was also in the army, limited resources. So I have seen her do everything. So sustainability is in our DNA. We don't believe in wasting anything. But because the West is talking about it, so it's being highlighted. But I think they should come back and learn from us.
So obviously, as you said, it is sustainable fashion, is basically affordable, and of course it's in a mainstream these days. I mean, as they are, pitching it. But as you said, we have already been doing it. So do you think that the slow fashion is a revolution or a resistance to fast consumerism?
I think so. Because everybody sitting here has witnessed COVID. And COVID changed our lives. COVID was one jhatka that we got. And during COVID, I remember people taking online sessions. Now the peacocks are out and the leopards and the monkeys are out. The animals have taken over the road. This is a jhatka. We have to control ourselves. Humans are destroying the planet. Everything everybody was talking about. As soon as COVID got over and we got back to our normal lives, human beings have a tendency of forgetting things very easily. There were weddings happening during COVID also for 50 people. But I just attended a wedding last month, and the next morning when I was seeing my Instagram, I saw my friend attend the same wedding. I called her up. I said, "You were there at the wedding?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "But we didn't meet." She said, "How could we? There were 3,000 people." So that is where, see, sustainability is not only clothes. Sustainability is what humans are doing to the planet. So we need to understand. And so what was the question? I get very emotional when I talk about COVID. Yeah. So when COVID happened, Adha COVID, we guys were in our track bottom shorts and t-shirts. Nobody was doing anything. Even the online sessions that we were taking, we were just dressing up and sitting. We had made our offices and all at home. So that is when I realized that when you open your cupboard, you realize itna kapda hamare paas hai. Where are we going to wear it? And is it a shame to repeat your clothes? Not at all. That's when I also started doing a lot of DIY projects, which is do-it-yourself projects, and started promoting. So we need to stop fast fashion. My son is a teenager, your kid is a teenager. The peer pressure that I see on these students and kids and his friends of not repeating clothes. हमने एक Instagram पे photo डाल दी, even our age. I have been a victim of consumption myself. I come from a glamorous profession. But it is not going to solve any problem for us. Now I realize that whatever my mother or my grandmother has handed over to me, I wear it as a badge of honor. Being a Fauji's wife, I have taken charge of all her saris and things and everything. So why not? Why can we not repeat clothes? Sitting at home, I've cut my son's shirts, I've cut my husband's shirts, and I've done some interesting DIY, and I wear it with pride. Why not? We all need to be aware that we have one planet, there is no plan B, and I tell my students that roti, kapda and makan will never go out of business. Kapda bhi chahiye, roti bhi chahiye aur makan bhi chahiye, but you have to be conscious of what you're doing. As a designer, you should worry about quality, not quantity. You need to be fair, you need to be accountable. अगर आप किसी मास्टर से अपने कपड़े बनवा रहे हैं, you need to pay him his wages. And you know, fast fashion companies like big mammoth companies like Zara, Uniqlo, H&M, then we have Shein. So they are producing clothes. I mean, there is a statistics which says that 500 billion T-shirts are produced in a year. Do we even need that much clothes? We don't. And there was this Rana Plaza tragedy that happened, which shook the retail industry in, I don't remember the year, I think 2013, which took the lives of thousands of workers, and the workers were in Dhaka, Bangladesh, and they were making clothes for these Primark, Zara, H&M, and all these companies. Not sure Zara though, but, and their wages were poor, they had no insurance policies in place, they were not given any sanitized environment to work. So that is where the fast fashion is. Now people have become conscious, and we have a lot of designers who've stepped in. Rahul Mishra has stepped in, Eka has stepped in, a lot of designers like Raw Mango has stepped in, who are now saying that let's have a circular fashion. जो कारीगर है, अगर हम किसी चीज को ₹1,00,000 का बेच रहे हैं, at least let's give that master ji, that weaver, that karigar, that embroiderer, that dyer, his fair wage. So yes, people are becoming conscious, but we have to be aware of the fast fashion, which is taking over.
Actually, that is right. As you were talking about, I think a few years back, there was a lot of hue and cry about that thing, because sweat labor and all that. I mean, all big names, they emerged. That
yes. And after that, there was a movement which was started by the fashion revolution people, which said that who made my clothes? So there is no harm in buying anything, but spend on quality rather than quantity. When you pick up a t-shirt, at least be aware that if I'm buying this, who made my clothes? Agar maine ye black dress kharidi hai, you can ask questions. Hashtag, who made my clothes? Was the person who designed, or not designed actually, who made the dress paid the wage as per the requirement? So these are questions that as literate people, as educated people, we can come forward and ask. Because nobody else will start it, it has to start from us. So I think these are the questions that we tell our students as responsible designers for the future. They need to ask these questions.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. And I think everyone who's sitting here, they would agree to it. So, there's a very interesting question. You are a mother of a teenager. I'm also a mother of two teenagers. And I think a lot of people who have their teenagers, or maybe elderly. So, you know, these days sometimes your ideology doesn't go with the kind of clothing worn by the kids. So you always tell them, ye kya pehna hai? ऐसे क्यों पहना है, ये अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, you need to know how to dress up. So do you really think that fashion can be both glamorous and ethical, or do we have to choose?
No, definitely. It can be. It runs parallel. It can be ethical, you do sustainable practices, you buy quality, you buy good fabric which will last you. एक normal t-shirt खरीदोगे, say for example if you're buying a Shein garment, आप उसको 2 बार धोगे, वो तीसरे बार पहनने लायक नहीं होगा. But if you buy a nice, good quality cotton shirt or cotton pair of trousers or a dress, आप उसको धोते रह जाओगे, but you will have to discard it, but the garment will not give up on you. So ethical fashion, yes, is very important, but the generation, of course, it's a huge problem with this generation. Teenager problem is always there. Like I was telling you that I go to Ilante. I've dealt with more than 50,000 students so far. So as soon as I go to Ilante, there are students running outside, you know, coming, they see me, somebody's running out of Sephora, koi Zara se bhagta hua aa raha hai, koi Steve Madden se bhagta hua aa raha hai, gode haath laga raha hai. There is my son next to me. Aapko to kuch nahi pata. You don't know anything. So this is like ghar ki murgi dal barabar. Nothing. You can't do anything with this generation. They wear a fatama t-shirt with lot of holes and you feel embarrassed walking with them. I said, jacket hi pehle, cover to kar. He says, you don't know, this is the trend. Wear a
That is what you know, na? Ghar ki murgi dal barabar.
Totally.
Okay. So now there's another thing which is too much in vogue these days, that is mindful dressing. I mean, a lot of people, they are, you can say advertising that they are putting a lot of pressure on this thing, eco-friendly things, and this is yoga where this kind of silhouette, that kind of silhouette, breathable clothing and all that. What's your take on that?
So, a lot of brands are doing breathable clothing and good stuff is being made. But I also say parallelly again, if everybody starts wearing cotton, we run out of water. It's not possible because the amount of water that is required to make a cotton t-shirt or a cotton shirt, so that's not possible. But yes, a lot of brands, especially Uniqlo, is doing an amazing job of breathable clothing. There's yoga dressing. The West is making a lot of money taking, when you travel abroad and you see the tag, made in Bangladesh, made in Sri Lanka, you're traveling abroad picking up clothes made in India. Because they aren't available here, but it is being exported. So, it is a little expensive and we can't expect everybody to pick up that because, if you're picking up a pure cotton shirt, it's 3,000 plus. And for a student, if he wants to shop and he wants to create a wardrobe, if he spends 3,000 rupees on a brand like Shein, he can pick up 10 pieces. So that is where mindfulness comes in. That is where a conscious consumer ideology comes in, that what am I looking for?
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. Because the kind of thing that how they are, pitching in their products like, oh, this is this, this is that. And I was thinking that, that kind of mull cotton these days, mull cotton sarees and all that. I remember we used to call them dhoti.
Dhotis, yes. And dhotis used to be cheaper when they were dhotis.
Exactly.
Since it's become mull cotton, it's become 10 times the price. So because everybody is out to make money, because cotton is selling, because the West loves cotton.
Exactly.
So now suddenly, we've owned cotton for generations. But because it's being sold as pure cotton there, here the prices go up. So it's like, it's a cycle.
True. Yeah, as you just mentioned, like, the cotton is, everything gets exported from there. And when it comes from there, it's an Egyptian cotton. It's an Egyptian cotton.
It has these many counts and these many
Yes, all those kind of tactics, marketing gimmicks. Now there's another very beautiful question coming your way, and that is, what does fashion mean to you personally when it comes to off cameras?
So fashion for me has always been a marriage of comfort and style. I have this thing which I tell my friends, my family, that when you leave your house, stop by, look at yourself in the mirror never lies. Don't be a victim of trends. If something is trending and you are seeing it on Instagram and it's suiting your friend, doesn't mean that it will suit you. So comfort should be the priority. Of course, it depends on person to person. And for me also, style is something that is within you. You can't learn it. Books में नहीं सीख सकते, course से नहीं सीख सकते. Either you have it or you don't have it. You have to have an eye. Eye can be developed, but aesthetic sense and style is inborn. So comfort should always be the priority. Always, always be the priority. And my home is always t-shirt, shorts and pajamas. Always.
I think everyone will say yes.
Yes.
We also have the same thing.
Wohi t-shirt pe, there is a study also, Sonika, that 30% of the clothes that are in our closet and they've been lying in our closet for 3 to 4 years and we haven't worn them. 35 to 45% clothes, जब हम पतले होंगे हम पहनेंगे. We never discard that. And जो हमारे कबर्ड में हम पहनते हैं, जो रिपीट मोड में जाते हैं, वो सिर्फ 5% होते हैं. You are happy, you take out that. You are sad, you take that out. You are good mood, bad mood, shopping, not shopping, वो ही आपका 5% कपड़ा आप पहनते हो. So we are also hurting the planet in some way. But please discard and declutter your wardrobes. जो हमें पतले होना था, our metabolisms have gone for 6. नहीं होंगे. At least the average age here, including me, अब हम नहीं होंगे. So it's not, I'm not demoralizing anybody, but declutter your wardrobes. Yes.
Now you gave a very good point to my husband sitting here telling me you discard all the clothes. Please declutter. So, okay. So now the next question is, are we moving beyond trends into the era of authentic dressing?
So again, with AI coming in, the whole scenario is changing. Of course, like I said, that clothes will always, we can't go out without clothes. The clothes are always going to be there. But the whole scenario in the clothes segment is also changing. With technology coming in, I mean the kind of fabrics that we are getting in the market, cotton ke naam pe there are 50 varieties of cotton. We've never seen. When we started fashion, madam ye cotton hai, ye mal cotton hai, ye cotton silk hai, ye georgette silk hai, and ye georgette cotton hai. So the technology is taking over, and I mean the AI is taking over. We have the designers are now designing rather than sketch and pencil. They are designing on iPads and sketchboards. So the whole segment is changing. But yes, at least for our generation, because I feel एक हमारी generation, I can vouch for the people sitting here, they are younger people also. I think we have more value. We are culturally more enlightened as compared to the next generation, which is my student and my kids. क्योंकि ये generation is again a quick generation. इनको पैसे बचाने से या quality से या quantity से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. So जितना हम save कर जाएंगे इस planet को, I think we need to do our bit. But yes, for another 20 years, things will be okay. But then there will be a time, because I am seeing all these softwares that are coming. Abhi, when Operation Sindoor happened, we had to switch off our lights and things like that. I was telling my husband, I said there will be a time in future when you just press a button or you tell Sophie, Alexa and Siri camouflage me. There will be a button and you will be camouflaged. That is the kind of things that are happening in fashion these days. Because the fabrics are breathable, the fabrics will adjust to your body temperature. You are in a mood, you want to wear red, you pull a string, the dress looks red, the dress will turn blue if you want to wear a blue, the same dress. So it's going to be crazy. So I hope I keep the bucket before that, because whatever I had learned so far, I'll have to unlearn. So it's going to be a scary thing, but things are going to change majorly by 2040.
As you just mentioned, that reminded me of one thing maybe a few months back or maybe 1 year back, I don't remember exactly. But there was a kind of lot of, I read in the papers, I don't know which fashion week it was, but it was a kind of clothing, maybe Gigi Hadid or Vela Hadid.
Yes, again the color. That was when the AI was coming in.
Right.
But now the softwares are crazy. You want to develop a print, you can develop it in 5 seconds. It is that crazy.
So that was a kind of, my eyes got open when I saw that she was standing over there and they are just spraying something and the whole clothing came out.
Yes, yes.
So that was...
And also, it is a little scary thing because a lot of carpenters, workers, artisans, dyers are going to go out of business in future. It's very sad actually.
So true, so true. And as we are just talking about that, I remember, going through one of the handloom things, I was just seeing that the person told me, and this is a ahimsa silk. I said, oh, what is it? Then this is new name for the airy silk. And I was like, okay, now they are pitching it with such names because they said, ma'am, no, that the silk on that does not get harmed. So I said, it's a very natural phenomenon. So you are, giving it a kind of that vibe. Absolutely. Pehle when the weavers used to weave, if the weaver is happy, the pulling of the loom would be different. It had emotions, it had memories. Right. Now everything is power loom. So now there's a very beautiful question as we had spoken about your mothers and one generation ahead to us. So what do you think, what wisdom can we learn from our grandmother's style, like rooted in simplicity, symbolism and sustainability?
I think make things last. Because anything, even if I'm wearing my mother's saris, it has memories. Even if it has holes, agar wo chij bhi gayi hai, I don't have the heart to discard it. So love what you have, respect what you have, treasure what you have, and just learn from them कि संभाल रखो. किसी भी चीज को अगर आप अच्छी तरह संभालोगे, even for us, if we exercise, we look after ourselves. That's what we say, the body is a temple for you.
Yes.
किसी भी चीज को अगर आप संभालोगे तो वो last करेगी. And this is what we need to take from them. Yeah.
So now we are coming to an end, but I have two more interesting questions which everybody would be wanting to know. So what do you think, what are the top 3 fashion trends to watch for in this, coming months?
So for gentlemen, it's going to be trousers, multi-utility pockets, and casual dressing. Invest in basics. When I say basic colors, I mean olives, camel color, beige, blue, mix and match pieces. I think everybody's been doing that. But yes, this time it's going to be trousers that will take you from a casual fitting function to a semi-formal to a formal. Like we used to have those pleated trousers earlier. And especially Fauji's used to say, ki wo to bhi hamara Fauji wo please bana deta tha. So that's not there anymore. So you just change the footwear, and that particular trousers can be worn for your office wear, for your lunching out, and for dinners. Combine mix and match pieces, wear t-shirts. I had just gone somewhere and I said, oh my god, this guy is wearing, he's supposed to be in a golf course, what he's wearing. But everybody is wearing anything and everything. And I think that is nice, that is in a way good. And also the lines are blurring between male dressing and female dressing. So everybody is wearing anything, track tops, track bottoms, denims, low-rise denims, fitted denims. So I mean, it's going to be a very interesting 2025. Trench coats are in, oversized jackets are in. For ladies, a lot of cut work, laser work, new textures, a lot of lace, a lot of daddy dressing is in, structured tailored jackets with a lot of frills and moves. So that's going to be in.
So whatever my second question was, you already answered it. So I think we are good, and if anybody want to ask anything, please, you can ask.
Which one fashion trend would you like, maybe from your time, to come back?
To come back?
Yeah.
I'm not that old, but anyways, if you ask me this question. See, for me, denims have always been there, and one trend that I liked was skirts, and this season skirts are huge. Anything and everything is asymmetrical hems and bubble hems and big flowy skirts. So that's one trend which I'm really enjoying. And overlays, like wear anything and put a jacket, even for men, and it's in trend.